Good evening, everyone. Can anybody hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
All right, you are welcome
All
to
right, you are welcome to
Help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining, Chris Ovie, Ifi Sizoba, Mary, and Victory. Thank you for joining, and others that will join even as we proceed with the class. All right, so that we don't take much of our time. So my name is Egwero Prosper, an IT consultant at Digital Z Hub. So Digital Z Hub is an online training platform, just like you are attending now, where we offer training or where we bridge the gap between between individuals who are limited to accessing the traditional IT training on site location. So this platform is actually bridging that gap. People can join from their respective location. Just to tell us few programs we train on this platform. We train on cyber security. We train on programming. So under programming, we have different programming languages that we train on here. Train on Python, Java, JavaScript, PHP, and then and the rest. So we also train on data analytics, data science, graphic design, video editing, digital marketing, AutoCAD, and other basic computer programs. So we've been on this journey since yesterday night. We started with the general introduction with Python or to Python, where I define Python as a high-level programming language, which is versatile, which is widely used across different tech domains. We also said that one of the reasons why Python become one of the most trending programming language is because of its simplicity. In other words, it has a very simple syntax that a beginner can adapt with. And that is the reason why some of us that are here, we're actually finding it very simple to cope with because it's a very simple programming language. We also talk about some of the reasons why you should learn programming generally, and in particular, Python. So we highlighted so many aspects where Python is being used. We talk about web development with a framework called the Django. Talk about data analytics with the provision of various libraries such as NumPy and the Pandas, scikit-learn, and the rest of them. All right. So tonight's section, like I promised, is going to be practical or true. Practical or true. Yesterday, I have already established the background. I believe for those that joined the yesterday section that are still here, I believe you can attest to that. If you miss yesterday's section, I want you to go to YouTube and search for Digitech Zeal. You should be able to access our channel where we have over 300 going to 400 master classes and free training sections like this. Although that section has not been uploaded, but once I'm done with this section, before the end of tomorrow, it will be uploaded. And then you can also private chat me to request for the link to access it. We don't want to put it in the general group because we want to encourage those of you that took your time to honor this free invitation. So I want those of us that have joined to do me a favor, and the favor you are to do for me is to kindly go to our YouTube page. If you have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe so that you can get subsequent videos that I will be posting there. All my master classes are usually uploaded right in that channel. So if you are smart, you can actually learn a lot from that channel. But there's still need for you to come for advanced training, because what we are going to focus on tonight is still within the fundamentals aspect of Python. Fundamentals aspect of Python. So like I informed those people that joined yesterday, after this class, you start getting an ad through the WhatsApp group that we're talking about teenagers or youth empowerment. Each youth is expected to pay just 1,000 naira. So our motive or our target is a way of encouraging the younger ones to start venturing into technology. And as we all know, beginning from now, WAEC is going to be computer-based. So we are using that avenue to see how we can start bringing some of these younger ones into technology. That is why we give that discount. So between the age of 13 to 20 or 22, will be allowed to pay just 1,000, and it's going to run for 16 classes, and they're going to be able to design applications. Like they're going to be able to build games. They're going to build some real app that can solve problem for an enterprise. So if you have anybody within this age bracket, or perhaps you yourself, you can prove to us that you are within that age, we will give you access. So if you also want to join, because like I promised yesterday, because you joined this section, if you private chat me, I'm going to give you a reasonable discount so that you can join it. Though we are targeting the youth, but the training is not for their standard. The same training standard we give to adults will be given to them. So 16 good classes, you should be able to cover everything that has to do with basic and intermediate aspects of Python. So with all that said, let's quickly dive into the assignment. Someone is having network issues trying to join. So if you have anyone that is not in and you feel the person should be here, please kindly remind the person that we are about to start the main training. So tonight I am focusing on what I title data types in Python. Data types in Python. So I have a couple of topics that I've arranged that falls within basic. But like I told us last time, I don't know if it was yesterday's section, we have basic, and we have basic advanced. So they are actually basic, but we are going to be treating this topic as if they are advanced topic. So I will encourage you to stay to the end so that you can get the full package. So what is data type in programming generally? Yesterday I told us that what you're actually learning in this section is not limited to only Python. By the time you start learning other programming languages, you will keep hearing some of these things that I'm teaching us. So which means that you are getting what we call the fundamental of programming right from this training, which can be applied across other programming languages that you may want to learn. So there are two basic things or topic that cut across almost all the programming languages. Topic like variable. There is no programming language where you are not going to talk about variable. Topic like data type. So there is no programming language where you are not going to talk about data type. So this is just like an advantage for you to have programming foundation that will help you in attempting other programming languages. So what is data type? As the name, the word implies data. Let's break it down. If you have once attended my introduction to computer section, I must have defined data itself as raw facts. That is what the general public or the beginners, most especially depending on the scenario where you are using it. If we are in data analysis section now, and I'm using the word data, it does not mean raw facts. But if I am in introduction class, that is computer appreciation, and I use the word data, I am simply talking about the very beginning part of it, which have to do with what? The raw facts that need to be processed before they can be used for the purpose at which they were processed. Right? Now, when we say data type, this is how I'm going to explain it in a way that you will get it once and for all. Now, every language you learn has certain information that is used to speak that language. So the same thing applicable to programming, because it's a language, whether you like it or not, but it's a computer language, just like you have Isoko, the way you have Igbo, the way you have Yoruba, the way you have Edo, the way you have different tribes. It's a language. So Python is one of the computer programming language. So let's get that part right. So which means that if you are learning a new language, it's usually difficult at the beginning. But that doesn't mean that it cannot be learned. The only thing you need is persistency. You have to keep pushing. Once you are able to master the basic, it will get to a point where you will now be able to speak that language fluently. So that is why when you want to start learning a programming language, don't skip the basic like we are learning now. It has its own damage. You will manage to skate through, but in between, you see that you are not complete. You are not complete. So getting the foundation right is the beginning of your success as far programming is concerned. All right, but there are some persons that if we had advertised for advanced Python now, let's want to build apps now, you will see this place will be packed. But when we say basic intro, some people overlooked at it, and this is the mistake a lot of us are making when we want to break into technology. We want to start at the top. That is not the sequence. If you don't get the foundation right, you can find your way to the top, but you will not see that when you now get to that top, you will not discover that people that are there that went through the basic, they are taking advantage of the job available. And at that time, the humanity will not allow you to come down to start fixing the basics. So this is one of the advice I have for anybody that will come across this video. If you want to break into tech, go and start with the basic. Master the basic, and then you see the advance will be very simple. All right. So now, like I said, now we understand what data type is all about. So there is no programming without the consumption of information. There is no programming without using information, which are data, for programming. Think of any language, just like we are learning Python now. I need to understand different information that I can put together when I am writing a program with Python. So once I have that understanding, then I will be able to what? To understand the language. So outside that, understanding those information will also register in me the principle of using those information. Because one thing in programming is that every data type has certain principle how it should be related with when you are creating a program, when you are creating variable. Like yesterday's section, you saw how we created a variable that stores number, and we did not put it in quotes, either single or double. That is because I understand that data type that is a number and is an integer in programming. And I know the rules that whenever you are storing integers in a variable in programming, they do not require what? Enveloping them in the string. So as I proceed, anytime I use the word string, I am referring to any text that is in the quotation sign, either single or double quotes. Please, I want somebody to unmute and say, sir, I am getting it. I need that feedback, sharp, please, so that I can.
Sir, I'm getting it.
Thank you, sir. All right. So,
following.
All right. Now, so like I was saying, we need to start by understanding this information called data types and also know the rules of relating with them. For example, what I just give now, I just want it to sink into our memory once and for all. If I want to create a variable, let's say the container, like I told us yesterday, variable means what? Values container. That is a container that you create as a programmer in order to introduce external information that will be needed in the course of your programming. So for example, now you want to build a calculator, and that calculator is expected to receive data like 100 and 20 to multiply themselves to give you what? A result. So you ask yourself, are this number already keyword in the program? Are this number are already built in Python library, like I explained yesterday? If the answer is no, that is where variable is involved. For you to now acknowledge them in the program memory, you need to bring them in through variable. So if I say equals to, because I'm going to break variable down, because yesterday I just paraphrased on it. But since we are zero in on data type, let me just explain it so that I can get to what the main topic. Now, every variable has three sections that you must know, and you must understand their rules. Variable have variable syntax. Remember what I told us yesterday about programming syntax. Variable syntax has three structures. The three structures are the name of the variable, the assignment operator, and the value. So now let me show you. This is an integer variable because a variable is described according to the type of data it's holding. So you see the reason why I refer to this variable as an integer variable. Why? Because this is a whole number. In programming, anytime you are storing a whole number in a variable, the proper term to use is what? Integer. Then if I am storing any value with a decimal unit, then the proper term to use is float or double. So when it was 90, it's not the same data type now that is what? 90.8. So get to know all this. Now, what I'm saying is that I can create another variable, let's say what? Name 1, and then equals to, then I'll put it in quotes. The reason why I am putting it in quotes because I understand that the type of value I'm about storing in the variable is a string that says that it must be quoted. So you cannot see the reason why I said your knowledge on those information you are going to use for your programming matters a lot. Matters a lot. So if you don't understand data type, then you have not started. All right. So if I put prosper here now, if I put prosper in this, so this is a string data type, while this is a number, but under number, we have two types of numbers in programming. A number is either integer, that is whole number, or float, or double, that is number with decimal units. So I want to believe we are following. So now I'll be using this variable concept to be breaking down these data types so that you can understand them. All right. So if I may go back to the topic, data types in programming, now we understand that for you to program, you need information. And those information that you will need to write a program, they are called what? Data. So when we say data type, we want to break them down into different categories. So I am going to group them. I'm going to use a group name to acknowledge them and start what? Breaking them down for you to understand. And as I break them down, I will also be explaining the rules of what? Handling them. so that you don't get an error. For example, now, if I run this code now, if I remove this now, an error has been generated. So, and what did you see there when you hover on it? It's not defined. That means what? At the moment, it's not seeing this. So the moment I add the quotation back, it what? That message, that error message will disappear. That means you just obey the principle. So categorically, we have two types of data. Categorically, we have two types of data. So the topic is what? Data types in Python programming. So I said we have two types of data type. That is by grouping. So we have what we call the primitive. We have what we call the primitive data types. Primitive. Let me complete it because you are a beginner. I can as well say primitive types. It also means what? Primitive data type. So we have number two. We have what we call reference or advanced data type. So I'm going to break them down like I told us. Advanced data types. So let's do justice to what? The first category, which is what? Primitive. The word primitive means basic. It means primary. Now, these are inbuilt data type across all programming languages. They are already in the program. They have their constructors already in the program library. So that is why they are referred to as what? Basic. The manipulation of one basic data type and the other is what we end up giving us what? The advanced data types. So what are the examples of this basic data type? Called what? The primitive data type. So examples of primitive types. All right? So we have what we call, number one, I want to start with string. String. Then number two, we have numbers. Then number three, we have Boolean. Then number four, we have undefined. We have undefined. I hope you are seeing it. We have what? Undefined. All right? So these are the primitives. Sometimes the undefined can be, interpreted as null. That is N-U-L-L, null. All right? So I'm going to take some time to break them down for you to understand. So when we say string by definition, they are text-based data type. Text-based data type. So when you get the video, you can make your note so that we can go far with the practical. They are text-based. Now, what do you mean by text? Text simply means collection of characters. What are characters? E is a character. X is a character. A is a character. M is a character. So putting them together form what? A text. So any type of data where you assemble this character or where is in form of this character set, that is a string in programming. So this is part of the terms you need to start getting used to. So when you hear a programmer saying string, for example, now, each time I want to, after creating this variable and I want to store text, I will tell you what? A string. So which means that what is the same thing as what? Text. All right? So now this particular string that you are saying, so this is a variable with string. So like I said, I'm going to be using variable to explain this. Now we understood that string means text in programming, whether it is Python, whether it is a Java, whether it is C#, whether it is PHP, any programming language you can think of, string remain what? Text. All right. So now let's look at some of the things we can do. Now, there is what we call Python output function. Python output function. What does that mean? That is, there is a keyword or a function within Python library that is used to output the result. And you can see that I'm using another IDE. You know, I promised us yesterday that I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. So I'm using Visual Studio Code today. Yesterday, I used PyCharm. All right. Now, I have created a variable. Now, I should be asking myself that this is the back-end development section. The user do not have access to this. So how am I going to display the result to the users? So I talk about GUI, which if you register for the full package, we will teach you how to create a user interface where your back-end code can be what? Outputted. But for now, we are going to use what I called yesterday terminal, which means that a different section like console that we will use to test run our code as we are developing here. So, for example, now I want the user to see how do I print the Prosper, for example, to the user to see via the application interface. So I will have to consult Python printing command. I explained this yesterday. Now I will just give the function. Please, I want us to take note of this. Once you open a parenthesis bracket, whatever that you put inside is referred to as input or arguments or parameter. All right. So when we go deeper, there is a thin line separating them, but at your level, I can categorically tell you that whatever you have in that bracket is an input. So what is a function input? A function input is the data, what you give to the function to consume. For example, now, what do we want to output? We want to output Prosper. And you and I know that Prosper is stored in what? Name1. The container that is currently holding Prosper is labeled what? Name1. So what I need to give to the print function is not the value, is the container. So the program knew or knows that once you give the name of a container into this function, you are expected to see the value in the container. So I will just type the name. Once I type the keyword, it will bring it because in as much you have registered it as a variable, it has become what? A keyword in the program. So if I click here now, and then this is where you run it. So we have something like this, even in the PyCharm that we used tonight. So if you click here now, it printed out what? Prosper. You can see that what? I have Prosper what? Printed. Why is not neat? Because I'm using what? Terminal. All right. So now I want us to learn some string function, some basic function you can use to manipulate string. So that is the next topic. So I'm still on the very first primitive data type, which is what? The string. So I want us to understand it very well before I pick the next one. Right? Now, what I printed the whole value in the string. All right, so if I may run it again so that I can show you what I'm saying. As we click here, we got the entire value in the variable name1. What about if you are asked to print only P from this variable? I don't want to print the entire value. I want to print maybe one character in the variable value. So that will not take us to bringing in a logic, a particular function which is called, or let me not call it a function because it's actually a logic because it's not a known or a register function. It is called indexing. It is called indexing. So across all programming language, when you hear the word indexing, what does that mean? Indexing means you acknowledge or you are assessing variable character or variable value using their numerical positioning, which I am going to explain to you right now. So across all programming languages, across all programming languages. Each of the array of characters in this particular name variable has a numerical positioning. So which says that the first character in this variable is located at 0. So if I drag this one down, so we can say this one is what? This one is having a numerical value 0. While the R is having a numerical value 1. While the O is having the numerical value what? 2. I'm going to prove it to you in a moment. Then S is 3, and then P is 4, and then E is 5, and then of course the last R will be 6. So let me show you the secrets. You know, this is programming, but in mathematics, the first item is 1, but in programming, the first item is 0. The reason is this. I want you to follow me. Before you count the P, how many value did you count? 0. You count nothing, you count 0 before the P. That is why it is represented with 0. Now, before you count the R, how many characters have you counted? You count P as 1. That is why R is at what? 1. Before you count O, you must have counted 2. That is why this is 2. Now, with this logic you're going to see how we are going to print out only P, print out only R, print out only what? R, O, print out any of those what? Character from the variable what? Value. So now we understand the indices. So that numerical representation is called indices in what? Programming. So if I want to print letter P from that variable, so I'm going to do something like this, print. Then I will have to call the name of the variable name 1. Then I will now use the square bracket. That square bracket means to select, that is from the set of character, you want to pick one. That is what it means. Now, with that logic that I just showed you now, if I want to access P, I will put what? 0 in. And then if I print now, you will get what? P return. Please, I want somebody to unmute and tell us if you are following, please. Different person from
Yes,
Mr. Victory.
it's actually clear. All right.
I want different person from Victory to tell us how he or she is going with the class. I hope the class is going well. If it is over.
Yes, sir.
And I hope
sir, yes, the class is going on.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So who is Samsung, please? Can I know who is joining with Samsung SMA? Please, can you kindly unmute and tell us your name and where you are joining from? Samsung SMA, please, can you unmute and tell us where you are joining from? This would like to know you. I don't think the person is here. Okay, so let's proceed. So now, this is positive assessment of what? The value. That is from the left-hand side. What about if I want to assess from the left-hand side? That is called negative indexing. When you are assessing from the left-hand side, that is positive what? Indexing. All right? Now, when you are reading the characters from the right-hand side, the first item is not at 0. All right? The first item is not at 0. The first item is at -1. So, for example, now I want to print the last R. So, I will just say print. Then remember, select the container where you have the bunch of character where you want to pick one of them from. And then use the square bracket. And then just put -1. And then let's see the character that will be returned. R from what? There. So if I want to access P, so I want somebody to unmute and tell us how the code will look like. We want to access this particular P. So can anybody give us the code? Quickly, unmute. Let's make the class interactive. Anybody, can be Victory. I want to access P from the left-hand side. How will I write the code? Quickly.
Okay, if we want to access P
from the left, what will be the
from
code?
the left hand side,
Yes.
the code will be print,
Okay.
then open the parentheses, then the
Okay.
name 1. You put
Name.
your bracket, and it's going to be there. It's going to be 0.
I disagree. Will it be 0?
We use 0 instead of this -1 you are using here.
Are you sure? I'll use 0.
There's the first P.
No. The P from the left. Get
From
the
the
question.
left.
From the right. From the right. Sorry, I think I was getting the.
Okay.
From the right. From the right. Sorry, from the right.
Okay. Okay, from the right.
Hmm.
Okay. If it is from the right, so that means we are going to have -3.
Okay, so let me follow your instructions, sir, and then I'll click. Perfect. So you can see programming is very simple. All right. Now, all these things that we are learning as basic, when we start advanced, you will see their application in one aspect of your code. And that is why once you are grounded on this basic, you can easily flow with the advance. All right. So there is what we call slicing using the same index concept. For example, now we are picking them. If I want to pick from the character at in the 0 to what? S. So how do I pick them at once? Let's say I want to pick 3 characters at once from this prosper. So what I'm going to do is I will say print, all right, then name, and then I'll put a square bracket. So I'll say from 0, I will use what? Column. That column means what? From 0, that's the starting point. Then 2, I will calculate, I'll check the S is, if this is 0, 1, 2. So from 0 to what? To 2. So if I print now, it's going to print out what? Now look at what happened. We are targeting the S, but it stopped at R. Is it S we are targeting? Let's say, okay, to S, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, then this is 3. Okay, so we have to put 3 here, not 2. Let me put 3. And then run the code again. Now I have PRO. Now we are targeting S. Now when you are slicing, this is just like you carrying a cutlass. Now, the particular place the cutlass will land on that element will be what? Destroyed. So what happened here is that our intention is to extract what? The whole of this. But because we stopped at 3, it stopped at what? O. Why? Because the cutlass landed on S, and that S is destroyed. So if I want the S, then I will make this what? Number 4. All right, so these are now another thing I want to show us is that if I want to check the data type, because we are talking about data type here, let's assume that as a programmer, I want to know whether Python can tell me whether this is an integer or whether this is a string. Maybe you are not sure. Just to test Python what? Intelligence. Now, there is a function. So this will be how to check. Data type. So I want to know the type of data I am having in S, the type of data I'm having in name1. All right. So I'm going to use, let's say, using what we call .what type is a function. So what is the syntax? How are we going to use it to check the variable? What value is stored there? So you are going to say print, all right? Then you put that type, you open it complete as a function, type, then you will now supply the name of the variable. Let me start with S and check what type of data do I have there. If I run it, what do you see now? Class integer. Now, let me change this to what? Let me add let me add decimal unit and run it again. What do you have now? Float. So this corresponds with what I told you before. That under number data type, we have float and then we have integer. Integer is when it's a whole number, and the float is when it has a decimal unit. So is either you call it float or you call it double. Double means what? I can have 90.0, I can have 0.7, which means that what? You are combining two. That is why most time it's referred to as what? Double. All right. So now I want to also check. Let me pass in another variable. Let me copy this Control C and pass in Control V. Let me pass in the name. Let's say I want to check the type of data in name one. So you can say string, right? So when I said that all the basic data type, they are already built in a program, now you can confirm. All right. Now, another logic I want to show us is that supposing I want what I store in Prosper, I want to count how many characters are there. I want to count. I don't want to come here manually and start doing 1, 2, 3. I just want to check how many of them. So that will take us to another Python string manipulation function. So which is how to check numbers of character in a variable. How to check the total numbers of character in a variable. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a function here using what we call what? .len is a Python function. Len is a function, which means length. So the length is abbreviated to what? Len. All right. So length means what? The size. How many character? So what is going to be the center? So I'll say print. All right. So I will now write what? Remember that you will call the name of the variable and then you will now attach the len to it. Or let's do it this way. Let's nest the what? Sorry, this should be the standard way of doing it. You nest just like the way we nested that type. Then you will now supply the variable you want to count the value in there. So let's say we want to count for name, and then I will just what? Run it. It will output that there are 7 what? Characters. So all these are different ways we are testing Python sensitivity. We are testing the AI that it claimed to be. You can see the way the program is smart. So from all this that we are explaining, you now know the reason why everybody want to learn Python. You now see the reason why everybody want to learn Python. Very simple. You can see the way we are writing our code now. All right. So now another basic string, Python string manipulation function I want to show us. Let's assume I want to print the what we call it, I want to print okay. So let's say I want to print this Prosper 3 times or 10 times at once. So instead of me doing something like this, print, and then I'll supply what? The name 1. I'll say run it, that is 1. So I want to print like 10 of them at once. So instead of me going through that, what I will do, I will just put asterisk here. This asterisk means what? Times. Then I will just put the number of feet that I want. So if I run it now, watch what happens. So it printed out what? Let's go and check. Let's go up. What did I have here? Okay, let me comment this one up. So I will be able to differentiate the one I am focusing on.
So it displays, but there was no space, but it displays.
Okay, sorry, I'm seeing it here. Oh, sorry, I did not even see this line. I did not see this line. All right, so now everything joined together, right? Thank you very much for that observation. So if I come here now, I just hope that it works for us. If I come here, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work with this concept. So I will explain it in another. So you can see that what I was able to print multiple times. I was able to print multiple times. So now let's quickly look at the let's look at some basic operation or calculation you can actually perform with I think we did that yesterday. I don't want to waste my time on that. We did that yesterday. So let's say, for example, now let me just do in case I have anybody who did not join yesterday. So let's say I have another variable that is holding another, and I'm asked to do some basic calculation with this. That is, I want to multiply the value in S by the value in 80, sorry, in Z. So I can just say, okay, print, I can just say print S times, asterisk is times in programming, Z and S. I don't know whether this Z is capital letter. All right, so if I run it, Python is going to perform a calculation, and then as you can see it here. So all I need to do, if I want to check other ones, is just to put division sign, and then these are what we call operators. Operators in programming. So you can go and read operators yourself. So I can put slash like this. That is what? This is division. So there's something I'm going to show you now. Look at this. This divided the value. All right. So now this divided the value and give us what? Remainder. So now let's assume, I want to show us a technique now. Let's assume that we are asked to round all the number up to what? One integer. How are we going to do that? Now, in Python programming, 1/ is division. Division, and if you have remainder, it will give you the what? The decimal unit. But if you want to round up all the number to 1, you put what? 2 of them. So if I put 2 of them now and I run it now, check what is going to happen. It's going to print what? To round up all the numbers to what? 1. This is 1 point. I think what we'll have done, let's see if we update this value to, let's say, I have 100 here, and then I have 3 here. So if I run it now, see what happened. I hope I'm getting the expected result. Where is it? I'm not getting the expected results. Okay, let me put only 1 first and see. Let me see what I have. Okay, I think we are getting it. If you round it up, it will turn to what? 0. So depending on the what. But 100 divided by, what do I have here? Oh, I think I have, let me just change it so that we can have, let me put S here. Let me put S here and then put Z here so we can have reasonable number. So if I run it now, okay. So now let me put the 2/ now and then run it. You see what happens? So you have what? 33, a whole number. So that is one thing about what? This operator for division. We have 2 of it, we have 1. So just get it now. Now, if I want what we call modulus, so if you read through the operators, you get to know them. They what we call modulus. Modulus is not division. It will divide a number and then display the remainder. For example, now the sign that represents it is percentage. Percentage like this is called modulus. So now what we are saying is that I think we have 103. So if 3 goes into 100, how many times will it go? And then what will remain, if there's remainder, that is what you will get. That is what modulus does. So it will go what? Into maybe two of it will go, and then it will remain what? Or it will go only one. So that is what that sign represents. So I'm just trying to paraphrase on Python operators as topic that we ought to take our time to explain, but I just want you to go and read over it. So you can put plus here. So if I put plus here, I put, that will give us what? Addition. So I feel it's very simple. I don't need to waste my time explaining that much. All right, so let's quickly look at the next data type, which is number data type. But there's something I also want to show us before we go into that aspect. For example, I want to print, look at the value. The value in name was stored originally with what? Lowercase. Now, I can print this out in a way that when it's printed out, it's changed to what? Capital letter. So how are you going to do that? So the logic, there's a function called what? Upper. So what you are going to do, you will just call the name of that variable, and then you concatenate. In programming, what we call concatenation, which means the dot. In programming, that dot is called period. All right. So if I say dot what? Upper, like this, what we are telling Python is that what? Output this, if it was created in lowercase, the output should be what? Capital letter. So let's run it and see. You see the output should be what? Capital letter now. Have I gotten the output at all? I don't know why I have not seen it. Let me. Okay, method upper string objects at this. So I think what is it that we did not do well? How did I? Okay, yeah. The mistake is that it's a function. We need to add this to it to complete it. So if we run it now, you see that what? It outputted it. Remember, it was stored in. So if I change this to capital letter now, these are some of the basic things you need to know. So if I change this to capital letter and I want to output it as lowercase, so that is to show us another function. So I will just say dot what? Lower. Dot lower. Sorry, not in capital letter. Dot lower. All right. So it will output it and convert it back to what? To small letter. So these are some of the basic things you can, do on a string data type. All these functions that we have explained, they are only meant to be used when you are manipulating a variable holding what? Text or string. So let's quickly look at the next topic is variable concatenation. So we are done with string. Okay, sorry. We are still on the data type. So we discuss what? A string. Let's talk about number. I have already explained number. Number is either what? Integer or a float. I have explained that to us. So let me go to the next one, which is called Boolean. So Boolean in programming is one of the basic data type that has just two values, true or false. And they are also built in what? Data type in Python. For example, now, so let's say we are looking at what? Boolean data type. Boolean data type. So let me create a variable and I will store Boolean as a value there so you understand how it will. So let's assume that I say BL equals to true. All right, true. Now, why is it showing this? One of the skills you need to have, which I mentioned in yesterday's class, that's debugging. Every programmer should learn how to, when his or her code generates error, should learn how to find out. And the time you are spending in debugging, the more experience you gather, the more it reduces. right? So learner will spend 1 week, trying to solve a problem. But a professional who has faced numerous challenges related to that, once it pop up, he knows what to do. So now, but the best way, because you are learning AI language, so there are a lot of assistants. Now, if you are hover on this now, you get why it's not outputting. Now, Python say, well, true is not defined, which means that what is not its library. You can't locate it. It's not stored anywhere. Why? Because what? This is meant to be capital letter, the T. So once I change this T now to capital letter now, watch what will happen. It will detect it. That is how this particular type is stored in the library. So if you are not following that rule, it won't work. All right? But the best way, because we use this Boolean value for decision making, for example, true or false, true or false. Let's say, for instance, now, I want to test the Boolean. Remember, I say we have false and what? True. Now, if I say print, if I say print S is greater than, this is another operator now, is greater than S. So let's see, this is going to return a Boolean value, true or false. Let's see what we got. False. So this is one of the best way I can actually verify what this type of data. So let's check why it says what is false. Now, if you check here now, you will see that, is it true that, let's check what we created here. What we created here is that we are telling Python that Z is greater than what? X. So let's check the value in both of them. Imagine you are telling Python that 3 is greater than what? 100. It's not true. So I want to test the Boolean value again. So if I change this sign to what? Less than sign, then the output will not change to what? True. So you can see, so this is how you confirm the Boolean value. It has only two values, like I said, true or false. So the next one I want to talk about is the undefined data type. Undefined means what? A declared variable without assigning value. For example, now let's look at this. Undefined data type. Undefined data type. All right. So now if I come here now, I say, okay, let's say I do something like A, and then I do something like A, then and I want to print. And I want to print, and then I'm telling Python print A. So we're going to get an error that will talk about what? Not defined. That name A is not defined. So which means that what? It's not acknowledged. It's not acknowledged. So, and if you hover on this, you will see the words, some of the idea you can use to troubleshoot. So now, when you get anything like not defined, what as a programmer that want to debug, you should already know what to pay attention to. So you're not checking your variable, whether there's a variable that was declared where you did not assign value. So if I add equal sign now, the error will change. Let's run it. It's not yet completed, but the error have changed from what it was saying. What is it not saying? It's saying something else. And what is saying that what? Line 23A. And Python is sensitive enough to tell you this is where the error is. What the error we are getting an invalid syntax, no longer what? Undefined, because Python have detected that you have gone beyond a particular stage. All right. So now, once I assign a value, let's say this now, and I run it now, all those grammar will disappear. So why we are getting those error? Because we have not done what we should do. Sorry about that. All right. So these are the so like I was saying, these are the primitive data types in Python. These are the primitive data type. Any question? Any question? So I will just take one more topic and then we will stop there. Then you go and master this, and then now, if you feel you want to go advanced, you can always WhatsApp us at, in case you come across this video and you want us to train you irrespective of your location. So just WhatsApp me directly on 234 then 7066 591 now, or you can also contact us via our website. Just log on to www.dgtechz.com.ng. We are still trying to add some information, trying to redesign it, but at least when you get there, you see okay, so like I was saying, when you get there, you will see our WhatsApp community button. Just click on it and that will take you to our WhatsApp community where we give updates on a free training session like this. I'm still hoping to see if I can still organize one more free training, but not on Python. I could just target another program, and always make sure that you recommend us. For those of us that have confirmed us, please keep recommending this platform. We need as many as possible subscribers on our YouTube. Make sure that you go there and subscribe so that each time I upload a video, you get a notification. All right. So, okay. So I just want to talk about one more topic and then I stop there tonight. I'll be talking about what we know as concatenation. And then I'm going to use another printing method that you need to know as part of the basic and intermediate programmer using Python. Right? So let me comment all this. So what do we mean by concatenation? So the word concatenation, particularly in Python or other programming languages, it means joining two things. For example, now I have a variable name, and then I'm storing what? Someone's name, let's say John, in this. And then I have another name, let's say age, and then I'm storing 25. Now, if I want to print this as a statement, not just printing name, let's say my names or my biodata are, so I'll pick what I have in name variable, pick what I have in age. So let's say I want an expression that says my name is John and I am 25 years old. So in that case, I'm going to do what we call Python string printing. String printing. I'll tell you what it does now and why you should learn to use it. Printing. So this is actually the new concept I'm introducing. You know, when you printed, for example, if I print name now, if I print just name, it's just going to bring out what? John. Now, we need to capture the users. There is what we call user-friendly interface. Every application developer needs to prioritize what? How it's going to be friendly with those that are going to use it. So just imagine you open an app and you see John, just John, without any description attached to it. You'll be thinking of, what is the John for? Is this someone's name or something? So where you want to print alongside with what is legitimately stored in a variable, and what is not captured in any variable, then you use what? Python what? F string printing. And what is the syntax? So this is what we are going to do. You say what? Print, and then you type F first, and then before you open what? The string. So why do I want to wrap my statement in a string? Because I understand that there are some information that I am going to bring in alongside as I print John and the age that are not stored anywhere within this program. So once the string will take care of them. So I can now say that, okay, my bio data is or are, I'll just put this. Now, sorry, let me make it the way I said it before. My name is, now I will call the name from a variable because I have already stored that in a variable. So there's no point of me writing it. I will invoke it from that variable. And how do you invoke it? You use what? Coiling bracket, like this, coiling bracket. Because what you are about to, invoke is a keyword, which is a variable in the program. So I'll just type what? The name. All right. Now, I want to concatenate it, like I said. I want to plus it with, I'm not just going to display just name. So I will come outside here. So what I'm doing now, I can just what? Do something like this. I can say, my name is this. And you can see that this and is acknowledged by the what? The string. And I am, then you want to call your age. So that your age, you will now use the what? The calling bracket and then reference the variable that is already holding your name. So if I run this code now, I'm going to get the expression. My name is John and what? I am what? 25 years. So what I need to do now is just to space here and then run it. Then I get everything what? Properly displayed. Now, but what I want to really show us is this. I want to display, and this is going to be the last thing, I want to display all this information in a block format because they are displayed on a straight line. I want to display my name is John on one line and I am what? 25 on the other line. So what I'm going to bring in here, the what we call Python what? New line printing. So I will just bring in / here. Sorry, / here and put n. So this slash and n means that what? After printing I am, the next item should go down. So if I run it now, you can see what happened. So this is actually what I want you to know. So if you are coding with Python, whenever you see that backward slash, and that n, it means what? Print new line. So if I want to break here, so I'll do the same thing. I'll put it here and then this, which means that what? After this, the next stage should go down. After this, the next stage should go down. So if I run my code, I have everything what? Display in block. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where I am going to stop. So if you have question, you ask. If you don't have question, then I want to say thank you for choosing Digital Z Hub. Expect more from us any moment from now. Expect more from us. Like I told us before, this platform offers numerous what? Trending and in-demand tech skill training, ranging from cybersecurity, data analytics, Python like this, but our full Python program comprises or contains the basic, the intermediate, and advanced. And before you can be good at Python with us, we will definitely have up to like 50 classes. 50 classes. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, down to 50 days. And then if you can enroll for that program, I can tell you that you will to build both basic, intermediate, advanced application, and you will be certified as a Python programmer. This platform offers both local and international recognized certification. And as we all know today, the emphasis should not even be on certification. For those of us that are looking forward for a remote job, I will advise you, yes, certificate is good, but You shouldn't see a place where you can get the skill and leave it to a place where you can just get the paper. Because when you get the skills, you can always enroll with all these professional bodies like Cisco, like Google, I think we have Google, we have this Computer A Plus. There are so many professional body where you can even go and enroll. Their work is not to train you. Their work is that you pay certain amounts, ranging from like 30K, and then you tell them that I know this. So you take their exams. Once you pass the exam, they give you a more practical recognized certificate than even what you will obtain from institutions like us. But some of us do not know all this. We run after those people that you get from, centers like this. But what you face to know is that a practical example is just like Korea. If you are in Nigeria, you know that even after studying engineering, let's say civil engineering, or maybe accounting, you must go and enroll with ICANN. The ICANN professional certificate, you can't compare with your BSc. The Korea certification, you cannot compare it. Those ones, they don't give you the training. You go and be trained as an accountant. Then you say that, okay, I know everything about accounting. I just want to enroll and write the exam. Once you pass the exam, they give you that practical professional certification. So it's a link that I just give to you now. So you can learn the skill from here. But like I said, even if you still want us to assist you to get a professional, maybe internationally recognized certificate, we can still help you to process it. But the only thing is that it will cost you more than our own register certificate. We are registered platform. So we pay tax, we have our team, we have everything. We are licensed by Nigeria government. So we are not just a platform, all right, that is not registered. So if you have any question, please, I want you to feel free to ask your question before we round up the session. Any question, please? Any question? Any question? So if you can unmute yourself and tell us how excited you are joining this section. Just tell the word, just share your experience if you want. It's not compulsory. Or you have questions, you can as well ask. So the next 5 minutes, I want to welcome question. After that, we close.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, mine is no question. I just want to really appreciate you for today because today's class has been an amazing class from beginning, just like yesterday as well. And just like the more we venture into the next class, we are seeing more, becoming more interesting.
Yeah.
Yesterday was wonderful, but today is more wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And every explanation was just clear. So everything was just moving smoothly. So I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and
thank you
where
for
you were
also,
able to
Johnny,
everything.
for giving us this content. So make sure that you subscribe. I know you have already subscribed to our YouTube page. Please continue to refer that YouTube page to others around you. Let them subscribe, please. All right. So do I have any other person who wants to also either ask question or to show any form of appreciation? Because this is the last session. It's just a 2 days free training. So the next training, probably you can chat us for maybe want to register. Like I said, with this number, you'll be able to contact me directly. And then with this, my contact is also in the website. So do I have someone else who want to say anything? If there is none, then we can close the section.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. I just want to say thank you one more time as well for your time and your effort to be able to make this a success. We've really learned a lot this evening and yesterday, and is also want to be doing this free. I know how much it could cost, from my research and all of that. So for someone who take his time to do this free is really something that's worth giving thanks for. So I want to thank you for your time and your efforts, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
We appreciate that comment. We appreciate it. Okay, so if there's no other comments coming in, so please, the way you can encourage us to continue to do things like this is to keep spreading the information, the good news around your friends. Tell them about this platform. Then send them the link. We always post the link. Send them the WhatsApp link to join. And please, that is, as far as I'm concerned, that is how you can actually pay us back. Please don't hesitate to give out the link to anybody. Make sure you direct people to join the group. Thank you very much, everyone. All right. So at this point, see us probably in the next free session or calling us for a full package registration. All right. So good night, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Good night, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.